Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, depending on what part of the wonderful world you are tuning in from. This is Jesse Brower coming at you live from my personal Facebook page. And I just wanted to talk to you for a couple of minutes this morning about what it takes to win when it comes to leads and cold calling and appointment setting in solar specifically, but really in any industry. So, guys, what do you have to do if you want to make cold calls? You need leads. You need something to call. So you get a list of consumers, you get a list of people that fits your demographic, you load them into a dialer, and you call them over and over and over and over again until they either buy or die. You can narrow it down. You can get solar opt-in leads, people that have clicked on an advertisement. You can call verified homeowners if that's your demographic, or you could just get a list of consumers if you're trying to do, like, say, credit repair, or if you're trying to sell insurance or anything like that. I just had a gentleman purchase leads for me for the use of insurance. He's going to be calling them for life insurance. So, guys, cold calling when it comes to leads, the best way that I know how to do it is to get a large list of leads and load them into a dialer. Whether you're going to do auto dialing or whether you're going to do click to call manual dialing, where you click next, click next, click next. And that's what you do. And then you just do your pitch over and over and over and over again. Most of the time leads are going to go to voicemail. Then you're going to call them back and call them back and call them back and call them back till they finally answer. It's a relentless game of just hammering leads, large list of leads, to pull out appointments. And that's how you can pull out appointments every day, is by relentlessly hammering a list over and over and over and over again. I recently had a gentleman who bought leads from me in December, and he couldn't get results. He didn't want to do the work himself, which is understandable. So he wanted to hire people in the Philippines, which I told him was a good idea. They weren't getting results. So I said, okay, I'll train your people. And, I guess he let them come to one of my trainings. He wasn't going to let them come back to multiple trainings. I'm not sure. But, wasn't getting results. So he says, well, I'm going to call them myself. Or he said, I think he said even he called him himself, or he was going to call him himself, something like that. But he wasn't getting results. And it's like, it takes work, guys. It takes work. When you buy a list of leads, it doesn't just automatically mean you're going to get appointments or sales. You've got to hammer. You've got to hammer and hammer and hammer and hammer. You've got to call the lead 6, 7, 8 times to get them to pick up that phone call. It's a relentless game of hammering a list over and over and over and over and over and over again until you get those people to pick up the phone and either buy or die. They say, don't ever call me again. And that's basically die. Okay. So that guy was thinking everybody was a scammer and this and that and the other. And it's like, no, dude, you're not doing the work. You're not putting in the effort that it takes to get appointments out of a leads list, whether it be a homeowner list, which he had some of, or an opt-in data list. You're going to treat them the same. You're going to hammer them until they buy or die. He wasn't getting results because he didn't want to do that, apparently. He didn't want to do that, or he just didn't know how to do it. I was willing to help. And, we got into a little dispute, went round and round and round. I used a little bit of obscenity, in response to some of his aggression. But maybe hindsight, I shouldn't have used the obscenity. But, at the end of the day, I refunded the guy's money, just out of good faith. Not something I wanted to do or I would normally do, and not something that I was supposed to do. I didn't sell him anything that was wrong or bad. He just didn't want to do the work. If I sell somebody a bulk leads list, it's their job to do the work of making the calls. So anyway, that's what it takes, guys. To win, you need to get leads and hammer them over and over and over and over and over again until they buy or die. You've got to get them on the phone because most people are sending calls to voicemails. Are you picking up calls from random numbers? Probably not. Sometimes you are, sometimes you're not. A lot of times you're going straight to voicemail. Why do you think it's going to be any different when you buy a list of leads that somebody's going to take your call? Like, they're not waiting for your call. It's a game of relentless hammering. Relentless hammering. These people that you're calling need to think that their house is burning down. That, the fire department is trying to get a hold of them because their house is on fire. That's how you work a list of leads. So just moving forward, if you get a list of leads from me, understand that that's how you have to work them, whether they be verified homeowner leads or whether they be, solar opt-in data. You've got to work the leads relentlessly. So don't come back and say, oh, I don't know how to get appointments, or I'm not able to get appointments. And, I'm not willing to do the work, or, I made 20 or 30 calls, or I made 150 calls. Bullshit. You've got to make 150 calls an hour. You've got to make 500 calls a day to keep hammering those leads, and 6, 7, 8, and then they're going to finally pick up one time, and that's when you got to have your A game on and spit your script appropriately to convince them to take an appointment. And to remember also that we're getting paid for the nose. We're going through a list, whether it be an opt-in list, whether it be a cold homeowner list. You treat it exactly the same. A cold call is a cold call is a cold call is a cold call. You're going to treat it exactly the same. Yes, hello? Hey, John. Hey, this is Jesse with the Zero Down Solar Program. We're just checking to see if you already got your solar panels installed. Now, guys, that's a survey question. That's a survey question. You're not calling to sell them anything. You're checking to see if they got their solar panels installed. And I'm going to talk about this more today later on at 5 o'clock Arizona time. But if you treat the initial call as a survey, it's legal. Legal. Legal to call people on the do not call list. Fact check me. Whatever you want to do, I'm right. Go look at the FCC communications website, and you will see that if you're taking a survey, it's legal to call people on the DNC. So you would want to have two separate businesses. If you really wanted to break it down, have two separate entities, one that's for the surveys and one that's for the sales side. And other than that, yeah, if you want to argue and you want to be afraid to call the DNCs, don't call them. More for me, more for my clients that have wisdom to do it. Anyway, like I said, guys, to win, you've got to get a list of leads, and you've got to hammer them relentlessly over and over and over and over and over and over again. And you need to sound a little bit compelling. If you've got a very thick accent and you don't speak English well, work on that, or hire somebody to do it for you that does speak proper English, because that's going to be a roadblock for you. If you are calling me from India or from Haiti or from wherever and your English is very broken, I understand that you want to get into the solar gold rush as well. But just bear in mind that if you're going to be the one making the calls and you have a very thick accent, that's going to be a roadblock for you. So I would recommend that you watch videos about people in California on the beach and try to copy that accent. California has a very neutral accent, and you want to try to mirror that as much as possible. Okay, that's just a real statement. If you're calling with a thick and a heavy accent, it's a detrimental thing in some cases. So you get a big list of leads and you hammer them over and over and over again. When they go to voicemail, you just keep calling them. One tool that you can use for automation is ringless voicemail. Ringless voicemail is a great way to season your list. It's like seasoning a steak. You're getting it ready, because you're going to drop a voicemail to your entire list before you call it. You could drop a couple of different voicemails to your entire list. Like, hey, I've been trying to reach you. I've been trying to reach you. It's important because you're not going to want to stop and take the time to leave a voicemail with every person that you're talking to. But you drop a ringless voicemail, it's effective. Guys, I just wanted to hop on for a couple of minutes. I am going to be on live for an hour talking about these very topics, how to legally call. That's legally call people on the DNC with doing a survey, leads, data, information, cold calling, telemarketing, dialers, ringless voicemail, how to hire a team, how to do telemarketing scripting. Going to be going over all of this today at 5 o'clock Arizona time, as always. And I hope to see you guys there. Thanks, and I hope you're having a real terrific morning.